is published by the person or organization in whose name the email address is registered. Justification is to provide for regulation of social media.
Let them first agree, then you get a clarification.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. I think in the spirit of enhanced the proposed new laws.
Thank you. Goretti. Kylo.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I agree with the insertion.
You agree with the insertion? Huh?
Apart from the penalty. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Suggest
Yes.
a penalty.
Right, Honorable Speaker. It seeks to increase fines from 240 currency points to 750 currency points. To us, right, Honorable Speaker, this is excessive, and we recommend that this remains 240 currency points instead of 270 currency points as a penalty.
Attorney General, let's first handle the issue of penalty.
Right, Honorable Speaker, we're at 500. The decision of the penalty really is for the legislature to determine what they believe is the correct penalty for any offense that has been committed. The committee talks about 750, the member talks about 250. We can meet halfway. The penalty for these offenses, honorable members, while they should not be, they should actually be deterrent. They should be deterrent. They should stop you. They are not corrective. So when you're looking for a deterrent penalty, you're looking for something that stops you from doing something and not corrective. I'd really propose that the 500 proposed in the bill is not excessive, in my view.
Madam Chair, you had given me, and I want to agree with the Attorney General. Yes. You know, once somebody shares a bad thing about you, you get to know that indeed you've got to penalize people as a deterrent what? Measure. Even that 500 is small. We should therefore, and I want to propose, we lift that figure to 800 currency points. Yes, because we are deterring people.
Honorable members, when you start talking like that, nobody has ever shared information about you. Let it be shared one time. That's when you will know. That's when you will know that it is very bad. Even what the committee is proposing is very small.
Madam Chair.
It's very small. If I was the one to propose,
Madam Chair.
I put a question that the proposed new clause be inserted as proposed. Those in favor say aye to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
New clause.
Another new clause. Honorable members, I can hear you saying we are going to court. Honorable members,
Right, Honorable.
I can hear you. If you want to go to court,
All right.
please do. Let's create work for court. Let's not remain, everything should remain here. Even those judges, they write about them. They will judge.
It is also the proposal of the committee that we start a new clause immediately after clause 7 as follows.
Members, can we maintain some silence? Faith, some silence. Yes,
It is the
there is an order from
Madam Chair, it is the norm of this House to refer to the Speaker as the Madam Speaker or Madam Chair. I have listened to my colleague from the time he started presenting. He just stands up and says, it is also Who is the colleague addressing if he can't address the chair of this house? Is it in order not to address the chair of this house? Is it
Of
in
course,
order?
it's not in order. Honorable member, can you address the chair? And address the chair, don't address the house.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair, it is the proposal of the committee. It is the proposal of the committee that we insert a new clause immediately after clause 7 as follows. Amendment of section 30 of the Principal Act. The Principal Act is amended in section 30 by repealing subsection 3. Justification is that subsection 3 of section 30 contradicts subsection 2 of the same provision, which allows for the prosecution of a person who commits an offense under this act outside the territorial jurisdiction of Uganda.
Honorable Dunn,
I concede, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Namuga,
Madam Chair, as we previously stated, we had recommended that this section be deleted. Section 30, because it was already covered, it was already catered for in the Principal Act.
Honorable Minister.
Right, Honorable Chair. You see, the Principal Act was limiting the territorial jurisdiction sub-clause. It means we should even go for those who misuse computers when they are outside the country. And we have the means and technology to get them. So we agree, yes. So we agree with the committee on this, on the deletion of those three.
Clarification, Mr. Minister.
Yes, Attorney General.
Chair.
Attorney General.
Madam Chair, yes.
Attorney General.
The proposed amendment is not, does not offend any of our laws. I have no objection to it.
I put a question that the proposed new clause be inserted as proposed. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I beg to move. Honorable Chair and members, I beg to move that the House do resume and the committee of the whole House do report thereto. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I put a question that the House does resume and the committee of the whole House reports thereto. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the committee of the whole House.
Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and members, I beg to report that the committee of the whole House has considered the bill entitled Computer Misuse Bill 2020 2022 and passed it with amendments. I beg to move.
Thank you.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Kimosha.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that the House adopts the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, I put a question that the House adopts the report of the Committee of the Whole House, and those in favor say on the control and nay. The ayes have it.
Bill third reading, the Computer Misuse Amendment Bill 2022.
Honorable Kimosha.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, members, I beg to move the bill entitled Computer Misuse Act. I beg to move the bill entitled Computer Misuse Amendment Bill 2022 be read the third time and do pass into law. I beg to move.
Honorable members, I put a question that the Computer Misuse Amendment Bill 2022 be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say on the control and nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act entitled the Computer Misuse Amendment Act 2022.
The title is settled and the bill has been passed. I want to thank you, the House, thank the Attorney General, Honorable Kimosha, the Minister of ICT. Is the chairperson of Nyekenge. I also want to thank the chairperson of ICT plus the committee of ICT and the shadow ICT and my very good brother, leader of government, leader of opposition. Leader of opposition. Honorable members, I want to thank all of you for passing this bill and wait for an assent. And then those people who think should play around with people's names must answer. We are here to legislate, we make the laws. For them, they are there to write, we shall legislate, and the laws will get them. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Let me also add my voice to thank the House for passing the law, and particularly thank the Honourable Muhammad Nsereko, represented by Honourable Dan Chimosho, and the members of the committee for processing the bill. Indeed, I want to agree with you that there is an increasing tendency for people to abuse communication, especially in light of the technologies. And therefore, we want to thank the mover and the author of the bill, but also to alert the House that we are actually reviewing all the laws related to communication. And we shall soon be coming to the House to amend most of the existing laws so that we can protect ourselves. Yes, we guarantee freedom of expression, but ensure that people communicate responsibly and not to misuse communication platforms. So I want to thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker and the members. Okay.
Honorable members, next item. Chair, do you want to say anything? Let's hear from the chair.
He gave me clarification.
Can I hear from the chair?
Right Honourable Speaker. Also, on behalf of the ICT and National Guidance Committee, take the opportunity to thank all the members of the committee, to thank all the stakeholders that we engaged, and also to commend the mover of this private members bill, the support we have gotten from the Attorney General and the Minister in charge, and the entire House that eventually our proposals have been debated and accepted. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Attorney General, that you're going to implement. Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues. Once the law is put in place, as the executive will be very happy to implement it in all fairness so that everyone enjoys their country as they wish. I thank you.
Honorable members,
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. On behalf of my colleague, Honorable Nsereko, I want to thank you for the support and the cooperation that you rendered this bill. And I want to emphasize that the gesture of this bill is to allow Ugandans enjoy their freedoms and rights without stampeding the freedoms and the rights of others. I thank you. May God bless you. Amen.
thank you, Honorable Mbua. Matters of national importance.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the matter that I'm bringing and very burning is that, Right Honorable Speaker, it is very unfortunate that last financial year, when we are trying to make a budget for this financial year, the Committee of Education in the report had put some of our schools from villages that were supposed to benefit to get government funding. But Right Honorable Speaker, it is very unfortunate that the list of the schools that were supposed to benefit, that included even local schools, they withdrew the schools from the list, inserted their own schools, both the Committee of Education and Budget Committee, and what is so hurting, Right Honorable Speaker, is that the so-called government schools, the good ones, they would go. The schools like Kakanju in my constituency that has never even benefited anything, a penny from government, and it has been a government-aided school for the last 30 years. Right Honorable Speaker, we have schools in Bukedia that were left out. It is a shame, Right Honorable Speaker, that schools like government can accept facilitating schools like Ntare, Budo. The schools that have parents who are rich can pay for all the bills and ignore the schools that even the peasants can benefit from. Right Honorable Speaker.
The ones in Bukedia.
Even the ones in Bukedia, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I don't know if it is the intention of the government to make sure that they can keep on supporting the rich and leaving out the indigents,
Thank you.
the poor.
Thank
So
you.
my prayer, Right Honorable Speaker, the prayer is, Right Honorable Speaker, at what time are we likely to get equity from the government? Can the Prime Minister come up with a list of the schools that are supposed to benefit this year? And Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to submit a list, to table a list, of which a list contains schools, well-to-do schools, Budo, Ntare, etc.
That have benefited?
That are going to benefit this financial year, leaving out our schools like Bukedia Secondary, Kakanju, and Chamunga Secondary, among others. I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable member, thank you so much. Prime Minister, you're very lucky you're bringing all your issues when the Prime Minister is here.
Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I would request the member to give me a copy of the paper and then instruct the Ministry for Education to come here and give us an update of what really happened.
Honorable Prime
Next
Minister, can we give you a week?
A week is enough.
1 week? The Prime Minister is giving us 1 week to bring a list of all the schools that ought to benefit and they are not benefiting, so that we can compare with what you have.
We are giving to the Prime Minister. I don't know whether it will be enough because she's very busy with the nyege nyege. So I think unless she says she's getting out of nyege nyege to have time to respond. My concern, right, Honourable Speaker, is that the Prime Minister may ask for a week, get involved with time. That's my concern.
Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, the Prime Minister has a team of cabinet ministers in the Ministry of Education and the technical people. As he engages in nyege, the other technical
Honorable Aisha Kabanda.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, last week we saw a video in the public of someone called Yiga, where he stripped and showed his bums on camera to insult almost everybody in the public. There is a law on public nuisance. We have not had Yiga being held over that law. We have not had the Minister for Ethics and National Guidance says something which depicts very negatively to government and Uganda as a society. My prayer, Honorable Minister, is that we hear from the Minister for Ethics and Moral Integrity. We hear from him whether they have sanctioned such behavior or whether it is part of the happiness of all Ugandans, and to hear from him why they cannot hold such a person against public nuisance.
Honorable Prime Minister, as you respond to that assignment on the schools must be, there is an issue of coding and then there's an issue of support, both primary and secondary.
Madam Speaker, my sister Kavanda, the issue you are talking about is being investigated.
With your permission,
of
Speaker.
course, public nuisance is unacceptable. And if it is, and that's why we are passing these laws that you people were refusing. These laws are coming to help us in this. So the Honorable Minister of ICT, make a follow-up on that. That was really terrible. It is terrible. Please make a follow-up on it and then let us know what could have happened. And as the Prime Minister said, it is being investigated. Let's get information about it, and then I will communicate on. I'll make a communication on Tuesday on how far, and
Most obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Most
thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, I have an urgent matter in my constituency. A section of the staff working with the district local government of Kubi have not gotten salary for September, and we would love to get an explanation from government about this. To set an example, those under the health department have not been paid. So I'd love to get this from the government, because the district is reporting a shortfall. How can a shortfall be on salaries?
Salaries, non-payment of salaries to local government.
Yes, non-payment of salaries.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Last week I was in Masindi. The money was remitted long time ago, but the cow had not paid. I left an instruction that she pays by Friday. I have received a whistleblower from Kikuve for the first time, and I've instructed the cow, the CFO, to report to our minister on Friday at 11. I have even alerted IGG, the anti-corruption unit, and CID. As they come, which they have not paid, they'll just be carried to police, and prosecution starts as we engage and pay our people. But the money was released, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister, is there a procedure, is there a way we can use to get information if the local governments have been paid other than waiting for whistleblowers?
Right Honorable Speaker, when finance pays, they have been furnishing members of parliament with you. Maybe if they have not given for this salary, but other releases, we've been getting them. I got mine.
Information.
Honorable Minister, maybe you need to interest yourself in this and ensure that all local governments have gotten their payments, all the salaries have been paid. And if it does not hurt anybody, you give us copies. We are representatives of those people. And they will ask you tomorrow, how much did your district get? We don't know. Just like road fund, we need to get information on how much goes to our districts. So you need to make a follow-up, get a schedule of all the districts of how much has been disbursed to them and which districts have paid and which have not paid.
Right Honorable Speaker, I promise to give you that information latest Tuesday next week. Members updates of all the districts that have been paid, those that have not been paid, and the reasons must be there from finance. I oblige that I'll give that information.
Okay, I will be glad to get that information. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I just wanted to give information to the Honorable Minister that the issue that we are talking about is not just about releases. It's about wage shortfalls. Funds were released, but they are not sufficient to pay for the salaries. I have with me, this is a letter from the Kawafokole district indicating that they only have funds to pay for July and August. That means in September, most of the civil servants do not have money. They're not going to receive their salaries, and they have actually been notified. So it's an issue of wage shortfalls. And so what we need is to know whether there is going to be additional releases or they are going to go without their salaries.
Right Honorable Speaker, that falls in the docket of the Ministry of Finance. But what other districts have been doing, I'll give an example of Untoroko. Their wage bill was very low. They came to us. We advised them to write to the Ministry of Finance, and the wage bill was raised to 1.4 billion to cater for everybody. So please write to the Ministry of Finance to address that.
Honorable Minister, you are in a better position to communicate to finance because these people are under you.
Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, this is what I'm going to do immediately I leave here.
Thank you.
To check all my districts, 135, the 10 cities, the municipalities, and find out those weaknesses. I promise it will be my ministry me to get a pen and write to the Ministry of Finance to plead and direct them to give us our money.
Thank you. Thank you. Kironda Hassan. Kirumira.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
First allow the Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, salaries attract the first call in this country. And therefore, everybody will be paid their money. And I am directing the Minister of Finance to do the needful. Minister. We want our money. Honorable Mbua, can you give, why do you want to nyege the Prime Minister? Kirumira Hassan.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For the record, Chirumira Hassan, the Member of Parliament for Katikam South Constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, on the 5th of September, armed men in civilian clothes attacked and abducted one Jakana Naduli, the son of former minister, and he has been whisked away to unknown places. Unfortunately, Mr. Jakana Naduli had an accident in March. It was kicked in the stomach. The parent, Alhaji Naduli, does not know where the son is. He was coming from a hospital. And my prayer, Right Honorable Speaker, is for the Minister of Security to ensure that this son of the former minister access the doctors and get medical attention from the doctors. Two, Right Honorable Minister, let the Minister of Security ensure that Alhaji Naduli, a former minister, sees the child. And three, Right Honorable Minister, I pray that if he offended or committed an offense, let him be produced in court because it is past 48 hours that was legislated. Thank you. Right Honorable
Thank you.
Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Prime Minister, the son of one of the historicals of this country.
Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I am hearing this for the first time. The matter will be investigated. Will be investigated and the report will be brought to this House.
Honorable members, yes.
These matters of abduction is really paining us as citizens of this country. And the press reports are now averse with so as drones are back, people are being abducted, the places of detention are not known. Sincerely speaking, what does the NRM government want with the citizens of Uganda?
Honorable Shadow, one thing we need to know is who is abducting. That's one thing. In the investigation, we need to understand who is doing the abduction. Because you may be blaming the other party when it is you who is doing it. So we need to appreciate that and understand who. After we have known who, these people should be brought to book. Huh?
Thank you.
No, but seriously, this is a very serious matter. This is a very serious matter. Prime Minister, we need to come out clean and expose the people who are abducting people. Then what happens? Will you even walk from here up to the gate? So we really need to understand who is doing this. Maybe somebody is covering his face, claiming to be from government when he's not.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And I would like to agree with you that it's highly probable
that some other jackals could hide where the government is absent. And when the government proves that it's absent, other people feel the vacuum. Two, where people are observing that the government is also involved in abducting, and we cannot tell, they can't account. You can't ask them to account. Yesterday, my office received complaints from a family in Nansana over their daughter abducted 5 days ago. Ewan Narubwama, Ted in Narubwama. To date, she's a no-show, and the government can't explain. And she was abducted by people in uniform. So the Nyege Prime Minister is saying they will investigate. You know? So we would like...
Honorable Lob, I know you as a very respectful person.
Right, Honorable Prime Speaker, I actually brought that in jest because I know the Prime Minister understand my frustration, not really insult her. And I would like her to take it as that.
Of course, I know you wouldn't want to insult a woman.
Certainly.
Especially a lady.
And I would honestly withdraw it if she's offended.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And after withdrawing right, Honorable Speaker, with that statement, I would like her to declare here that they are in charge. Remember, we were in your office with the Minister of Security and the Minister of Internal Affairs. Disappeared citizens to date. So they account for these ones. They have never come back to you. They have never reported to me. And the Prime Minister is proud to be in charge. Would you please tell this Prime Minister that you are in charge? Or you actually know where these citizens are and you're holding on to them as a ransom? Are you in charge?
Honorable Leader of Opposition, as far as I know and I see, the Prime Minister is in charge. However, we need, all of us need to invest on investigating on what is happening on security issues. We need to check what is happening on security issues. It is terrible. Let's investigate on what is happening on security. And that's what the Prime Minister said. We are going to investigate. Prime Minister, do us a favor. Because today, they will assassinate one person. Tomorrow you hear they have assassinated me. And I want to tell you, honorable members, I have got a report and I've only shared this. Now I can officially tell you. I have only shared this with the leader of opposition. I have got an assassination report wanting to assassinate me. Oh. Yes. So, yes.
Now that is the one.
Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we cancel that demon. Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, this government respects the rule. We are always praised for the security of this country. And anybody who tampers with the security of this country will be dealt with. And therefore, I want to inform colleagues and this House that the government of NRM is present, it's not absent. We are in charge. These small punctuated areas will be addressed, and we are investigating the matter. That's what I will speak.
Speaker.
Honorable members, as we have said, the investigation must take place. And the Honorable Prime Minister, investigate on what is happening. And start with even mine, because it's not a hearsay. It is not a hearsay. Follow it up with the Minister of Internal Affairs. It is a reality. Yes, up to now.
Madam Speaker,
My car is still followed up to now.
Madam Speaker, as your
Honorable
member,
members,
as your member, Madam Speaker.
honorable members, we need a report on those arrests, on the assassinations. We need a report. We seriously need a report in 2 weeks' time. And whoever thinks is going to assassinate Anita, I was put in this chair by God. And if anybody wants, may I have my village to go to. I was put in this chair by God and I will serve until I get tired. Prime Minister's time. We shall still continue after the Prime Minister has finished. We will continue.
Item 3, statement by the Prime Minister on government business for the succeeding week, 13th to 15th September 2022.
Let the minister, then you come in after proceeding away.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I move under Rule 28 of our Rules of Procedure that requires me as leader of government business to make a statement in the House regarding the business of the succeeding week. I'm therefore submitting the following business for the succeeding week, that is 13-15 September 2022. The competition bill.
Thank you, Prime Minister. And that now takes me to Honorable Bua, your government chief whip. Don't be taken by the betties of this world talking. Give us your report on the outstanding bills.
Right Honorable Speaker, during the 24th sitting of the first meeting of the second session of the 11th Parliament of Uganda, held on Tuesday, 30th August 2022, you directed my office to provide an update on the status of bills in reference to government legislative agenda presented by His Excellency the President at the State of the Nation's address on 7 June 2022. Right Honorable Speaker and members, 62 bills were presented for consideration in the financial year 2022-2023. 3 bills have been passed. 1 bill is ready for second reading. 19 bills are budget-related legislation with key timelines as per the Public Finance Management Act. The status of the remaining 39 bills are contained in this document. And Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to beg for your indulgence. Should I go through them or I lay on table for the record of Parliament?
You can lay on table.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I beg to lay on table 2 documents. One is a document dated 7 September 2022, addressed to the Right Honorable Speaker, signed by the Government Chief Whip, forwarding the status of the bills. I beg to lay. And the second one is a comprehensive of the 62 bills in total that were presented as legislative agenda of government. I beg to lay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, whip on this side. If
Madam Speaker, while the Right Honorable Prime Minister under Rule 28 has the mandate to submit the government business of the succeeding week, every other last sitting day of the week. Keenly observing, you realize that most of these businesses have not been reflected in the order paper of the subsequent weeks, Madam Speaker. And this is a concern. And that's why I'm wondering whether we should proceed that.
We, as the person that makes the order paper, we put in the order paper what has been provided. If it has been given as what is going to come in the preceding week, that is what is going to come, it will come. I'm waiting for them to come. And of course, it's to our interest that we really handle them. And that's why we wanted an update from the government chief whip, who is busy talking to Betty. We wanted an update from the government chief whip on what has been presented and what is left, and what the Prime Minister is bringing will be brought in the order paper. And we'll finish. I can assure you we shall finish the bills. Ethel, you have something?
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, want it to be procedure right? The Prime Minister or the Executive really gives us the update on the status of the market bill. Local governments up to date, they really thrive so much, whereas we took a lot of time to pass the market bill. I beg some.
Honorable Speaker, like I told you last week, I think the member was not here, that I have no powers. But the president will definitely write to you because it was passed here.
Honorable members, I know where your dissatisfaction is coming from, and I equally feel it. We passed the bill here. It has never been either returned unsigned or it has not been signed. But when it was raised here, we wrote to the PPS. And what we found out, the bill in between here and Entebbe, I don't know what could have happened. It must have gone to Najana and Kumbi. So we asked to send another copy, which we have sent, and it is going to come. It will be handled. Prime Minister.
Item 4, Prime Minister's time.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I got a question from Honorable Sasaga.
You want to smuggle my Prime Minister?
Not to smuggle. The issue you raised.
Which one?
Is a constitutional issue. It will help you, Jaja.
Jaja.
It will help you. Jaja, it will help you. It will help Jaja.
Yeah, even bribing Jaja.
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker. Yes, I am a Muzukuru of the Prime Minister, so she will not be offended. The Basoga descendants of, it is in that context. Maybe people didn't know. So, Jaja, the information I want to give over the issue of bills, and I have seen it several times here. One time, Right Honorable Speaker, we are going to have a problem. Somebody is going to challenge the legality of our bills because of delay by the president to assent them. Because the Constitution gives timelines. We have addressed it in the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, and I have been seeing it here. So, Right Honorable Prime Minister, as you engage with my colleague, the President, draw to his attention that the Constitution gives timelines. And Right Honorable Speaker, if we don't respect those timelines, our bills will be challenged. So, as the bills go, sometimes the President returns the bills here beyond the time required by the Constitution.
And sometimes we're in a dilemma. How do we deal with them? Because ideally, if the president does not assent to the bill within the time prescribed by the Constitution, then we cannot deal with them. So please remind him that he has constitutional timelines to respect for purposes of us not overthrowing the Constitution. I thank you, Right.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Prime Minister, what the colleague of the president is saying is really correct. And Muzukulu, you see, like the fisheries bill, it was returned, the president signed on the 8th of August. We only received it yesterday. Yesterday. And you know, we have constitutional dates that you must return the bill after it has been sent back within 14 days.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I commit to remind the head of state, but I want you also to note that he's an experienced president and he has been doing this work for quite some long time, and I believe he knows what he's doing.
Experience, but reminder. Yeah.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the president can never sleep on the job. You know he's an able president. That's why he has been given a mandate year in, year out by Ugandans. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, question 1 came from Honorable Sesaga John, Member of Parliament, Budadili East, that Busoga University was closed on 1st December 2021 by the Ministry of Education and Sports, citing reasons like failure to comply with the set minimum standards by National Council of Higher Education. However, the circular dated 1st December 2017 clearly stated that the closure of the university was not going to affect students who had completed their courses by that date. Unfortunately, an update on graduation has never been organized for the completed affected students, and they can't get their certificates to enable them to register with relevant ministries to get formal employment. His prayer that when will the graduation be organized for the affected students? Number 2, that when will the affected students get their transcripts and certificates? My response, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, that currently there is no legal entity known as Busoga University. And as such, no university organs are in place to process transcripts, issue certificates, and organize graduation ceremonies. A letter from the Permanent Secretary will be provided later. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, there is a management task force in place as of now to manage the establishment of the public university. As soon as the process is completed, then the graduation ceremony will be held and all relevant documents will be issued. Honorable Stephen Kisa, Member of Parliament, Luka District. He said that he's a regular user of Jinja Kampala Highway and it is now about 4 years. Government compensated people and a contractor was obtained to construct the Jinja Kampala Express Highway. His prayer that can government give a progressive status about the Kampala Jinja Express. The Kampala Jinja main line and the Kampala Southern Bypass collectively form the Kampala Jinja Express Way Public-Private Partnership Project. The proposed project comprises of 77 kilometers of the Kampala Jinja Mainline Expressway and 18 kilometers of the Kampala Southern Bypass, that is urban expressway, to be constructed as follows. 1. The first 3 kilometers will be 4 lanes each side. The next 17 kilometers will be 3 lanes each side. The remaining 57 kilometers will be 2 lanes each side, and 18 kilometers of Kampala Southern Bypass will be 2 lanes each side. The project links to Kampala flyover project along Jinja Road, Kampala Northern Bypass at Munyonyo. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the procurement process of the project is ongoing, and the bidders are expected to return their technical and financial bids in January 2023. At the moment, government is continuing with land acquisition process, and 44 kilometers have been acquired to date. The target dates for acquisition of the right of way are 1. December 2023 for Kampala to Namagunga and Kampala Southern Bypass. In June 2024 for Namagunga to Jinja. Honorable Speaker, the construction of the Kampala Jinja Express Way is a 5-year project scheduled to commence once these processes are completed. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, question number 3 came from Dr. Baiga Lurume, a member of Parliament, Buikwe District. The Rural Electrification Agency, having its activities halted and taken to a vote where we thought that improvements were going to be effected. According to Honorable, that we have not seen any improvement at all, and that our people would like to have power lines extended to their villages. His prayer is that can I inform this August House on when the activities of extension of power lines in the Buikwe district will resume. Right, Honorable Speaker, my response is that Minister of Energy and Mineral Development is implementing 2 energy schemes that include the Government of Uganda Lot 8 project and the grid intensification under energy for rural transformation in the Buikwe district. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, under the Government of Uganda Lot 8 project, the following works has been done. Installation of 9 transformers in the areas of Sugu, Kirangira, Mutwe, Nakatyaba, Bukasa, Mutale, and Mutale areas. These works were commenced and handed over to Umeme on 3rd August 2022. Transformers in areas of Yarero Fish Farm, Butembo Town Council, Buagaja Town Council, and Nawa Town Council. The commissioning on 21st July 2022. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, poll election has been completed in areas of Kanyenye. The installation of a transformer is scheduled to be done this month. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, government through the grid intensification under energy for rural transformation, Lot 3, has installed and will continue to install more transformers in areas of Gimbo, Kokora, Tega, Monde, Kabanaga, Nakaungu, Natwara, Buzama, Kikoli, Makonge, Chambogo, Buliantete, Katunguru, and Nsacha. These works are also scheduled to be commissioned in September and October 2022. So, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the works in Wikwe district have progressed considerably well and are nearing completion in various schemes earmarked to be commissioned by the end of this year, 2022. Honorable Speaker, question number 4 came from Honorable Atima Jackson Lee Buti, Member of Parliament, Arua Central, Arua City. According to Makerere University School of Public Health, the teenage pregnancies did rise by 25%. And as a country, we have fallen short of our pledge at the East Central and Southern African Community Health Conference in Lusaka of February 2020 to reduce it to 13%. His prayer is that in his constituents, Aro Central Division, there are many teenage mothers who seek help to continue with education and fulfill their dreams. And he asked that what is the government plan to address the high number of teenage child mothers who got pregnant during the COVID-19 lockdown and now abandoned by families. My response, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, according to Ministry of Education and Sports Report 2020, between 15% of 20% school dropouts are triggered by child marriage and teenage pregnancy. Honorable colleagues, government is taking appropriate measures to address this challenge, and that the measures taken so far include the following. 1, the Vice President's office, my office, that is the office of the Prime Minister, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports, together with the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, have developed the national guidelines to return child mothers to school. And this is in black and white. Countrywide rollout of in this strategy through continuous sensitization and mobilization of our country. The Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development has developed the second national strategy to end child marriage and teenage pregnancy. This strategy was officially launched on the Day of the African Child on 16th June 2022. The key areas of focus of this strategy are: 1, strengthening family and community negative and harmful social, religious and cultural norms and practices that drive child marriage. Strengthening birth registration and certification. Economically empowering families through the existing government livelihood programs, including the parish development model, Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, the Youth Livelihood Program, MYOGA, and Operation Wealth Creation. Number 5 is creating awareness to increase uptake of sexual and reproductive health services and information. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the Minister of Education and Sports, under the able leadership of Mama Janet, the First Lady, launched a national multimedia campaign to end child marriage, teenage pregnancy, defilement, and promoting positive parenting. Honorable Speaker, the campaign is currently running on various media houses at national and sub-national level. In line with the above, the government is undertaking the following interventions, specifically in Arua district and Arua city. That is sensitizing school management to accept child mothers back into school settings to enable them pursue their education dreams. 2, implementing a nutrition program under the child sensitive social protection targeting lactating and pregnant child mothers. This is intended to enable them give birth to healthy babies whom they can live under the care of their parents and grandparents while they return to school. 3 is sensitizing and encouraging households, especially grandparents, parents, and caregivers, to accept and take care of the babies of the teenage mothers to enable them return to school. Number 4 is strengthening the referral pathway so that the child mothers are able to access education, health care, and protection services. Number 5 is providing sexual and reproductive health services to child mothers, including HIV and AIDS and sexually transmitted infection screening. Number 6 is promoting positive parenting among parents and caregivers, among others. Sensitize children to refrain from sexual activities at their tender age. Honorable Speaker, number 5, the Honorable Tumwine, Anemel in Toroko District. Honorable Speaker, he asked that there is a growing concern in the Uganda Police Force recruitment and deployment in the country, which has resulted in many of them committing suicide and the others becoming deserters, which puts the country at stake of increased struggle and killing innocent Ugandans. The special police constables are disgruntled over the inhuman nature they are being treated and denying them fundamental opportunities in the course of their duty, and being warned of being chased from work for speaking up on the issues affecting them at work. But they are denied from enjoying equal privileges with their counterparts at workplace, which include 1, access to loans from commercial institutions for their personal development and to educate their children. They are denied promotions or considered to join other departments, yet they have trained and have the required qualifications to join regular police force and instead recruit new individuals from out. That they are not entitled to belong to any pension scheme, hence no retirement plan, yet they are always deployed within the station serving and loyal to the service in Uganda Police Force. And that no opportunities for further training and gain more skills that are required in improving services in the Uganda Police Force. Number 5, that whenever they open up seeking their issues to be addressed, they are threatened with sacking and non-renewal of appointment, thus getting frustrated. They have, number 6, they have written higher officers in the police that don't see things changing or improving on our part. The Honorable Speaker and colleagues, his prayer is what plans do government have to ensure that this human resource in Uganda Police Force is not wasted and their welfare is improved. Then 2, what strategies have been put in place to ensure that the regular Uganda Police Force, where majority have worked for decades, have a retirement plan. Honorable Speaker, my response to this is that special police constables are appointed under Section 66 of the Police Act. And whenever there is need, that's when they are appointed of their services. They are usually identified by officers in charge at the area police through LC1 chairpersons to beef up security in that area. Honorable colleagues, after identification, the special police constables are trained for about 3 months or even less, and then deployed after signing a renewable contract of 1 year. This contract is renewed on satisfactory performance, and as long as the need for their service still exists, the renewal is premised on the recommendation by the respective commanders, and they can also be relieved of their duties through a formal process. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, special police constables are therefore not employed on permanent and pensionable terms like the regular police officers, thus not entitled to gratuity and pension. Given this status, they are not liable to promotion and deployment in various departments. Honorable colleagues, the access of loans by special police constables is a private arrangement. However, Uganda Police Force always recommends them to their respective financial institutions, and sometimes they are served. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, as a strategy, the special police constables who qualify for regular police are always recruited from within and are given priority before going out to get more recruits in addition to their own job training in various areas to enhance their skills. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, those were the questions. I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Prime Minister. And, the questions have been responded to. Unless if there is anything supplementary.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm called Wakaima Musoke of Nansana Municipality. I had a question to the Prime Minister, which emanates from the circular that was given to school by Uganda National Examination Board, saying that all schools should pick stationery from the headquarters of National Examination Board. But the unfortunate bit, they told all the schools to pay subscription fee of Uganda National Student Association and also SESMAT, that is a group for science students. But my concern is some of the schools have paid for the examination fee, but they are unable to pay subscription. What should those schools do? And is it paying subscription fee, is it a prerequisite for getting stationery from Uganda National Examination Board? And when did the National Examination Board turn into a dead collector for private groups like Sesemat and UNESA? Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I request you to give me time. We investigate this, get more details from a colleague, and then I will come back here and report.
Please give my information to the Prime Minister so that she can be able to.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Dr. Rutaigwa Elisar, Rukungiri Municipality. This afternoon I received the information message from a resident of Rukungiri Municipality and who has a sister currently in Saudi Arabia. She went to Saudi Arabia in January, but she faced very hard conditions at her place of work, and she managed to leave that place. And right now, she's in Saudi Arabia at the home of a company that actually recruited her and took her to Saudi Arabia. And this is 6 Stars International. The family is worried that she's going to fall a victim of organ trafficking. I want to request the government, if we can work together and help this family, to help this girl come back. Beatrice Kanyesije. She's right now in the home of this company, 6 Stars International in Saudi Arabia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the number of our children were found themselves in that situation. We have helped them. So I request for details so that we can team up with the Minister of Gender, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and we have our daughter back.
Yes, Abe.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to seek clarification from the Right Honorable Prime Minister, because we have seen these cases time and again on social media, and they keep on coming up. Wouldn't it be proper if we get a status report and the list of those who have gone through the country, through the different companies that exist, so that we first ascertain if those people are safe? And also, secondly, can we get a report from the embassy where these people go to do the work? Let them give us reports of how many cases have been reported. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, there are cases of our people who have gone to seek for greener pastures, who are never even reported. Those which are reported, we can bring it on the floor of Parliament. But those who actually go through this torture and even die, we fail to trace them. So we really love to have a status report in the House. I thank you.
Prime Minister, there is also a report from the shadow. What is his name? Mawada? Mawada. Also, he has a report on he actually wanted to raise today. So what we can do is to also get a report from him, put it together and see the impact. Information. First, get from the Prime Minister.
Honorable Speaker, you have put it very right, and I want to thank you. the issue of our people going to work in those countries, especially those that go to the Arab countries, sometimes the reports we get are disheartening. And therefore, allow me to recommend that all members who have questions regarding that, I am going to direct the minister in charge of gender and that team up with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. They bring us a comprehensive report so that all of us can have an input. And they will see
Honorable
how to
members, let's all put our issues together so that they are handled as once as a report. If we can have that, deliver it to my office and I will forward them. If you can't reach the office. Yes, Richard?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker, I've just been reading the disaster alert from the Office of the Prime Minister, signed by the Permanent Secretary. Reports from the National Meteorological Authority is forecasting heavy rains from September to December, and they're forecasting a lot of floods, landslides, and all the related impacts. Rwenzori and Elgon, so far already we are experiencing a lot of disaster. Madam Prime Minister, you are aware. I'm aware you have sent a team to Bundibugyo, to Kasese, to do rapid assessment. But my concern is, from the alert, I don't see, apart from the emergency response that you normally do, I don't see from this alert the preparedness, especially for those areas, the mountain areas. We are supposed to do a geohazard mapping, a disaster mapping, so that we guide people who are to move away in time before the actual disasters happen. So I don't know as government what, especially your office, Prime Minister's office, the one in charge of disaster response, in terms of preparedness, how do we prepare our people so that we don't lose lives, we don't lose property, we minimize the impact of these disasters, because they will happen. That's my concern, Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you so much. The issue of disaster in Rwenzori, that area was handled yesterday. And maybe what we need to do, as I said before, that we need to be the first people to inform our voters on what is happening. Now that you've got that letter, we should be able to go and talk to our people and let them know that there is going to be disaster. Let's be prepared. And as leaders also, we agreed we should have a week of tree planting. Let's not just talk about degradation, but let's act as leaders. So the Prime Minister yesterday made a presentation here, but as leaders, kindly let's inform our people what is happening. Because they may even listen to you more than the Prime Minister. Because they voted for you, they think what you say is gospel truth. So Richard, let's get time, whether it means going on radios, whether it means doing what, let's educate our voters. Yes. John. Then Bashir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Prime Minister, you are aware on July 11th, this year, 2022, the Wetland Authority went to Tuke and they slashed down the crops for the community of people of Otuke East constituency. And I remember we raised the issue on the floor, and you promised that these people will be compensated. And up to date, nothing yet being done. And I'd requested by then, that time, that if the government cannot give money, let them be provided with the food. This family whose their crops were slashed down. Could you please respond? If you're ready, my truck is there to carry this food for them today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I know he knows that an assessment was done. As for the food, I promise that we shall give you food. But honorable colleagues, this is my appeal and appeal from the President. It is true that a number of destruction has taken place and our ecosystem cannot handle, and that's why it is giving way. We have a plan that we brought here, a policy, and you people approved it in this house. A disaster management plan was brought here by the Minister of Disaster, the State Minister of Disaster Preparedness. I want you and me and everybody present, like the speaker has said, to educate our people. Let our people know that when you are dead, you can't do anything. In those areas, there are those that we are handling in the enclaves of Bududa, Manafa, and other areas. Yes, we have a plan to do urbanization, especially in those areas that are hilly, but we request you to help us sensitize the people, because it's not easy for us as government to convince your people. We bought land in Kasese, he's aware. But your people are still, we are still struggling to have them to go and we share that land. We bought it in Mocha. Yes. So colleagues, we request you to convince your people, even those that we relocated to Bunamutie, in Manafa, in Buramburi, his place, and they are going back. We compensate them, give them a home, but they now, instead of taking, they marry another wife to take to the new home. And then these others, the old ones are killed. So colleagues, I think, yes, we are, as government, going to be forced to evict forcefully. Thank you so much.
At least Nambesha has not done it. Bashir.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Prime Minister, you remember from a very good project, the Mubende Kakumiro Kagadi Road. And as leaders from Mubende, we raised the red flag against the way the drainage system was constructed, which is very narrow and shallow, and we came to your office and you convened a meeting with UNRA. A team came to Mubende and they have not undertaken any correction measures. Last night, we had a very, very, very big downpour, and almost the entire central business area was submerged due to the poor drainage system. St. Charles Ruanga SS, the classrooms were submerged and the compound flooded. The Katawa stream and the well, which is supposed to be a sole source of the low-income earners in Mubende municipality, was silted. The central business area is flooded. Madam Prime Minister, we want to see that we undertake correction measures to assist our people in Mubende. The only well that was constructed by the Catholic Church was washed away. We seek the government support
to see that our people in the municipality are supported. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Madam, you receive only 5 questions. You answer at once and
Information.
okay. You're the good thing.
Honorable Speaker, it is also helping me to do some exercise. But Honorable Speaker, protect me from these nyege boys.
This nyege man of
Kasiro. And I know he's going to go there. That Honorable Speaker and colleagues, that was a light moment. Mubende is one of the districts that are developing at a high speed. And we appreciate the communities in that area. We had a meeting, like he has said, after they had reported. But now that the Minister for Works is here, why should I suffer when I have
General?
The General is
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I appreciate the concerns. Honorable Washiri was in my office yesterday on other matters on the issue of Mubende. I think this happened last night, but we'll send a team to address it. However, I would also like to appeal to the authorities in the districts and municipalities to manage waste. Waste disposal in our municipalities, in our cities is terrible. And all the waste ends up in the drainage. And that's why sometimes we get this flooding. So I request also, as we address the narrow strips or the narrow drainage, that we also have a proper waste management arrangement and system in our cities and municipalities. I beg to submit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I'm concerned with the grounded agro-processing facilities that were established under the Community Agricultural Infrastructure Improvement Program 2013-2016 with the funding from the African Development Bank. Fortunately, my Chigando sub-county in Butemba received a maize mill serving close to 3,000 locals. But on a sad note, this facility was only operational for barely 2 years because of the substandard machinery and the equipment that were installed. And as I talk now, the facility is redundant. My humble question, Right Honorable Prime Minister, is does the government have any plans to revive these facilities? And if so, when are you putting a smile on the faces of my locals from Chigando, Chankwas?
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, today we had a meeting with the Ministry of Trade and Industries, and they brought a report about all KAIP facilities. They are milk coolers. Is where they put milk coolers and then they don't have even a cow. So we have taken stock and we are going to put those machines to good use. There are machines like yours across the country. And I promise that the Ministry of Trade will come here with an inventory of what is happening on those machines across the, it's not only in Butemba, it's across the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Rasta.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First, I should say I don't know how many mega or gigabytes of freight we have after you communicated that you are threatened with. That is not the point. My point is about Bunambutie, which the Prime Minister has just mentioned. We are happy that the government has done good intervention for the last 5 years or so. And we have about 263 households settled within. However, the matter of concern, Madam Speaker, is recently in the month of May, in the second, 3rd of May, around 11th onwards, we got more 23 families from the districts of Bugisu put in Bunambutie. The concern, which was an issue but now a concern, the promise of the Prime Minister was they would be helped with the food, some amount of settlement, water, and everything else for about 6 months. Madam Speaker, I wish to announce today, Right Honorable Prime Minister, that they got only 1 month of May, up to date nothing. And they have nowhere to go. They have resorted to destitution completely. These 23 families from Namisindwa, I got 3, Bududa 11, and many other districts, were put on the lower side, the eastern side of the resettlement camp, where there is no water. They have to move to a water source, good, sanitary, water, drinkable water, to about 2 or 3 kilometers up. Otherwise, Madam Prime Minister, I want to appreciate one thing. The sensitization in Bugisu over landslides has been done well. I can attest to you that Honorable Nambeshe and in his district, including even my own district, where we have had mud slides and some landslides, we sensitize people. We have not suffered fatalities, especially human fatalities. So we are doing our best as local MPs and many other local leaders. So the issue of concern and the prayer is the Prime Minister, Madam Speaker, should attend to the salient issue of facilitation of these families recently moved to Bunambutie resettlement camp. Respect, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Prime Minister Christine.
Honorable Speaker and colleagues, it is true recently we relocated 23 families and some food was given to them. And I believe we are supposed to give them for 6 months. But we had some shortfall because of the famine in Karamoja. And all the food that we had to be taken to Karamoja. I promise that as we settle down, we shall send their food. Secondly, I request that because he's talking about water, we had that program together with homes. We sat with members of parliament in my office because we still have 2.1 billion and Army Brigade is constructing. They had wanted to, connect water to all those places, but we agreed together that let this money build more houses so that we can secure as many lives as possible. And we agreed instead of a few houses that were going to be constructed, and we agreed that let us construct as many houses as possible. We shall connect water next financial year. That is it, brother. We agreed together. And now the Army Brigade is on site and they have started constructing those many houses we agreed out of the 2.1 billion. The next financial year, this financial year, we shall also see how to connect water, but we wanted to have as many houses as possible. Honorable Speaker, we have a program under Give Directly, where we are going to give 7 million per homestead, per household in the 4 districts of Bugisu sub-region, so that these people can be relocated down. And I believe you know that you are one of those that helped us to lobby this NGO. And we are going to connect as many districts in the same region, Bugisu and Mount Elgon region. So I request colleagues that those people who will be paid the 7 million be convinced to shift down and leave those areas which are dangerous. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I must appreciate government. However, Madam Speaker, you are aware about the challenges of compensation in Teso sub-region. Aware that government gave 50 billion for Teso, Lango, and Acholi. Madam Speaker, if you go back to our constituencies right now, you cannot talk about the NRM government. Because it is long when government committed to compensate the people of Teso sub-region. Up to now, Madam Speaker, we have a number of districts, including Kumi, where I come from. Even from Bukedia, that happens to be my immediate neighbor. The compensation has no effect. May I have a clarification from the office of the leader of government business as to whether this compensation is going to be done or not, so that if it is not going to be done, we stop talking about compensation. Madam Speaker, why has the office of the Attorney General failed to implement the recommendation of government in relation to compensation of our people who lost cattle?
Honorable Prime Minister, maybe you need information about this compensation. First of all, the 50 billion that was given originally for Lango, Acholi, and Teso must be audited first. They say it was given out, that money must be audited first. Then two, before we plan for another compensation, let's first have that one first audited. Opio will agree with me. Everybody from that side will agree with me. Let that one be audited. Institute a team to audit that money first.
Right Honorable Speaker, like you have said, this program was launched by the President in Soroti last financial year, and 50 billion was given out. I request that you allow me to instruct the Attorney General to give us a report of who benefited from this money. And then we can institute an audit so that a forensic auditor in that, so that we can get concrete information of who received this money.
And maybe just for information, there was an additional budget which was given, that what was budgeted for has also failed to come out. And I think that's what Christine is talking about. The 30 billion was budgeted, and they said after that, they can even get a supplementary. It has not come out. So, Madam, take it up yourself with the President, because it was a presidential pledge. Pinned on that. No, we'll discuss it when it comes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the NRM government is known for affirmative action and the inclusion of persons with disability in the development agenda. But the office of the Prime Minister has been giving out foodstuff and other essential items to areas that have been affected by disaster, but consistently leaving out persons with disability, and yet they are the most vulnerable. I want to ask the Prime Minister whether this is a policy now from the office of the Prime Minister or the negative attitude by her staff towards persons with disability.
Honorable Mpindi, you want to say that when they are distributing food, when they get a person with a disability, they don't give that one?
Madam Speaker, the information I receive from our members that they are left out, they don't receive those.
No, that is not correct. Have you confirmed that information? Because really, how can you give out food and you jump one person?
You see, Madam Speaker, what happens, I can give you a scenario. If someone is, for example, is a wheelchair user, and they have gazetted the place where they are going to distribute the food stuff from, and that person cannot reach there, or is a visually impaired, and the office of the staff don't take into account to look for these people. They just give out to whoever comes, and they forget those people who need to be looked at.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I want you to appreciate that it is the NRM government that has been supporting the people with disabilities, and NRM government is known for being all inclusive. Honorable colleagues, whenever we take food and non-food relief supplies to districts, we use local leaders. And I believe local leaders know where these people are. And if say for example, by omission, your people missed, please let us know. We are still in charge. We can always help.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the issue I raise relates to human rights observance in this country. Honorable Speaker, the country is facing serious challenges regarding human rights. Ugandans are being arrested without following the law. Honorable Speaker, the Constitution says if you are to arrest a Ugandan, first of all, you must identify yourself. Secondly, you must inform the person you are arresting in the language they understand why they are being arrested. Thirdly, they must be taken to a gazetted detention facility. And fourthly, the detention must not be beyond 48 hours. Honorable Speaker, that's what the Constitution says. Honorable Prime Minister, consistently, those constitutional provisions have been abrogated. I want to find out whether you have plans of ensuring that we get back on the constitutional order. Relatedly, Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Speaker has raised an issue to do with her personal security. If really the Speaker is facing assassination threats, where does that leave all of us? In your communication, you said the matter will be investigated. That is a casual statement. Are you planning, for example, to enhance her security and the security of the others? Really, if the third highest person in the country can face assassination threats, what about Honorable Kayemba Solo, a peasant from Bukomansimbi? What about Hambo Basalirwa from Ubujiri? How have we reached this level? How have we reached this level of threatening assassinations? How have we reached this level? Honorable Prime Minister, I come from a community in this country that has been a victim of assassinations. Muslim clerics. So for me, when I hear assassinations, I don't take them lightly. Honorable Prime Minister, over and above the issue of investigation, is this something that concerns you? I'm sure by the time the Honorable Speaker mentioned it on the floor, in the words of Chinua Achebe, the handshake has gone beyond the elbow. I want to imagine that. So I want to invite the front bench, our brother and General Katumba over there, just survived an assassination that took his beloved daughter. And I am sure investigations are still going on up to now. As a house, this is a matter that ideally I would think we would commit some time to discuss. Tomorrow it will be the Chief Whip, the other day the Shadow Attorney General, If you have now targeted the Right Honourable Speaker, you are now going to target my judge, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, because he's next in the queue. Okay? Then it will go to my brother, Honorable Obua, the government chief whip, in that order. Then my classmate, Deputy Attorney General, Jackson Kafuzi. So, the issue of assassinations as a modus operandi in this country is a matter that we must address, and is a matter that the Prime Minister should comment on over and above the promise of investigating, and yet she is still very busy with the nyege.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Standing away. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, issues of security, especially when it comes to assassination, to me, cannot be discussed here. I request that you give me time. We shall inform the Commander-in-Chief and also inform those that are concerned. And I commit, please allow me to conclude. Right Honorable Speaker, protect me from my brother. Right Honorable Speaker,
you leave your mother-in-law to speak.
Yes. Yes, please let me conclude, because issues of security, colleagues, are not like a cat-rat chase.
Come after your conclusion.
You cannot see, it's not a cat-rat chase like you think. And therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to commit government that we are going to handle this issue with utmost urgency it deserves. You will be protected, and I know God is there to protect you, and nothing will happen to you. Yes, nothing will happen to her. We are going to be for security. We are in charge of this government.
Information.
Honorable members, one would ask why I raised that issue. I raised it because it has been overdue. That's one. Two, and it was in relation to the issue of Ugandans that were being talked about. Because if that can happen to me, who has all the security, what about a solo who does not have? So I raised that issue in good faith, and I want Ugandans to know anything that happens to me, I have got assassination threats. I have got them, and I am not going to be intimidated. And we are going to handle it. It's not anything for debate. It's not anything for debate. Let's leave it. You've heard from the Prime Minister. We are adjourned the House to Tuesday.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.